Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blue Corner. I'm Mike, as always, one half of the Unknown Experts. And I'm going to hit you with some quick headlines and some off-the-cuff fight predictions. Let's start with the headlines. First, we got Kobe Covington starting a beef with basically the wrong person and Nick Diaz. A lot of people have gone on record saying already that Kobe, this isn't Fabricio Werdums who's going to playfully hit you in the head with a boomerang. They're going to come at you full on if they see you. So we'll see how that works out for Mr. Trump's favorite fighter. Leon Edwards thinks Jorge Masvidal is too busy with reality TV. So he now says he sets his sights on Robbie Lawler or Rafael Dos Anjos as his next challenge in the welterweight division. Jose Aldo may move up to lightweight in one or both of his remaining fights. This is essentially a roundabout way of what his manager is saying, that he really wants the McGregor rematch. However, it may happen. Try to prove it was a fluke, I don't know. Brendan Gibson, a striking coach at Jackson Wink, is claiming that John Jones suddenly now has one-punch KO power. I mean, I've always been one to call John the greatest light heavyweight of all time, if not fighter of all time, but he always had pillow hands. He didn't have that one-strike KO power, and no, I don't count the kick that DC leaned into in their second fight. That would have put anybody out. It's a kick from a guy who's every bit of 6'5", who has the longest reach in the fucking sport. Anyway, it'd be interesting if he really does have one-punch KO power now. And I'm talking like, a right hand down the middle and that's it. That's a game changer. But it would make sense with all the time he's had on the shelf. Where at first he said he was focusing only on jiu-jitsu, and then it was all powerlifting. It was only natural that he would eventually develop the one-punch power, especially if he's making the move to heavyweight like we've all thought for years. Other news, UFC welterweight top 5er. So, I mean, it's a fair assumption, if not 5 or top 3 contender. Kamaru Usman is already tapped as a replacement. It was initially reported it would be for the champ, but the situation is this: Woodley versus Till at UFC 228. If either man is unclear, injured, whatever, Usman will take their place, presumably with an interim title on the line, which just muddies the water even more with Kobe Covington being stripped of the interim belt and then not stripped of the belt, and then being stripped as soon as they touch gloves to fight, and still regardless getting the winner, but whatever, we'll see. Coming off a sub-loss to Benson Henderson, Roger Huerta will return to Bellator yet again to fight Patricky Pitbull Fieri, who ironically recently defeated Bendo 2 fights ago. Huerta is a late replacement for Goiti Yamaguchi. The fight will take place at Bellator 205, September 21st in Boise, Idaho. Interesting that Bellator is making moves to Idaho shortly after UFC had their first show there. Risen 12 took place this morning. It's Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern for you guys who weren't so aware at the time. And it had zero name power to it, which is pretty shocking. That one championship, the other Asian promotion, had a better summer event, at least on paper, with the likes of Renzo Gracie, Yuki Kondo, Gary Tonin, and a couple other guys. Whereas in this event from Ryzen, whatever you want to call them, Fighting Federation, they got their biggest names are what? Hatsu Hioki, a UFC vet, and Caitlin Young, whose career highlight is a head kick KO of Miesha Tate in her third fight, I believe. But well, anyway, the event already happened, so I can fill you in. Angela Magana of UFC hate / fame fought, and she got choked out by a Von Flu choke by a female fighter named Murata. And Hatsu didn't have much luck either. He had a head kick while changing levels to end the night for him. We'll move on to the current rumored UFC pay-per-view lineups. The main events, that is. UFC 228, you got the welterweight fight between Till and Woodley. If one of them can't make it, then we'll see Usman take their place. UFC 229, obviously we got lightweight title fight, Conor McGregor versus Khabib. UFC 230, nothing set in stone. The main event is all question marks right now, but the rumor is, if it's not Jones like I've theorized the past 2 episodes, it would be GSP versus Silva in a legacy match a decade too late. Then UFC 231 in Toronto, you have the featherweight champ Max Holloway. God willing, he can clear the concussion protocol and finally defend the title to Ortega, who should take it from him with a relative ease. The kid's a monster. I mean, I was hoping he would fight Khabib when that whole incident happened at 223 where they needed an opponent. He would have put the whole fucking company on its head with that fight. I truly believe Ortega had the tools and everything to beat Khabib. And then UFC 232 heavyweight belt on the line, DC versus Lesnar. Of course, if Lesnar doesn't make the fight, doesn't make the testing, or if the rumors of him only doing this to get a better contract out of the UFC are true, DC will then, in his final fight, instead fight Stipe Miocic in an immediate title rematch. Now, for once, we're going to skew to the left here, and we're going to give you some boxing headlines. Well, one of them, because it interests me. It's Tyson Fury's come out and said that Deontay Wilder and him will fight, and according to the Gypsy King himself, Fury, that it's all but official. Moving on, Shogun, who says that he'll retire when he's ready, so essentially that's his way of saying that he ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Let's see, the flyweight and the bantamweight super fight that would have been Mighty Mouse versus Cody or TJ suddenly is very interesting, with Mighty Mouse dropping the belt to Cejudo in their rematch. It's a classic Styles makes fight with TJ with his striking, his footwork, his in and out movement that you can't help but say it's snake-like, but it's beautiful. And his wrestling, that even at 10 pounds lighter than he usually is, quote unquote, because we both know he's going to come in there. We all know, I should say, he's going to come in there at least 20 pounds over 125. He'll give Cejudo trouble. An Olympian wrestler will definitely see the difference between the Olympics and mixed martial arts wrestling when it comes down to it. Even though Cejudo has proven he is capable of making effective game changes very quickly, i.e. his stance in the last fight, his strip takedowns, so they should strike while the iron is hot. Shelf Dominic Cruz and his beef with TJ. Shelf Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, until this is all settled, and make this match happen now, fast. I called it, folks. We'll see a third 2-division champ sooner than expected. What I'm essentially saying there is, yeah, TJ will steamroll this kid, and Cejudo, he'll beat him with ease. Our final little bit of news is Bellator 204 has a potential star fighting under the radar in a fight between SBG Ireland, aka McGregor's team, and teammate James Gallagher, the Bizarro McGregor, no hands but amazing jiu-jitsu, versus Ricky Bandejois in a title eliminator for the bantamweight title. Now in this case we have Gallagher moving down from featherweight to bantamweight. He wants to also be a 2-division champion, but he's dropping instead of going higher. I'll hit you guys up with a little more in a little bit with some quick fight predictions, but anyway, this has been Mike as always. Get back at you real soon. Keep watching. Love you all. Peace out.